We don't serve people like you. The day a single dad was insulted at a restaurant. Until his true identity emerged. Ethan Carter had learned to endure humiliation in silence. As a single dad, a mechanic, and a man who'd lost almost everything except his daughter, he had grown used to people assuming he was less than them. But nothing prepared him for the day a simple attempt to celebrate his daughter's birthday turned into a public humiliation, one that would expose secrets no one in the fancy restaurant thought he had, and one that would change every life inside those walls. The reservation that didn't exist. Daddy, are we really going to eat here? Amelia, only 7 years old, clutched the edge of her little dress, eyes sparkling at the towering front of La Brillante, the priciest restaurant in the city. Ethan knelt and fixed her bow. Yes, sweetheart. I promised you a special birthday. They should have our table ready. He had saved 5 months for this small celebration. They stepped forward, only to be blocked by a hostess whose polite smile dropped the moment she saw Ethan's worn jacket and Amelia's faded shoes. Name? She asked coldly. Carter. Reservation for 2. Her eyebrows lifted. Then she smirked. There's no reservation under that name. Ethan calmly pulled up the confirmation email. I booked it last week. Here. She didn't even glance. Instead, she leaned forward and whispered with a disgusted smile. We don't serve people like you. Try somewhere. Cheaper. People around them turned. Some snickered. Others avoided eye contact. Amelia's hand tightened around Ethan's. Daddy? Did we do something wrong? Just like that, something inside Ethan cracked. The manager with the fake smile. A tall manager in a sharp suit approached, wearing a smile so artificial it almost reflected light. Is there a problem? He asked the hostess. Yeah, she whispered loudly. This man is insisting he has a reservation. Ethan forced patience. I don't want trouble. I just want to celebrate my daughter's birthday. Here's the booking. The manager brushed his hand away like something dirty. This establishment maintains standards, sir. Your attire is not appropriate for our dining environment. Amelia looked down at her dress. It's my best one. The manager leaned closer, voice dripping venom. Please escort your daughter out. You're disturbing the guests. A few patrons laughed. A mother at a nearby table pulled her child's chair closer, as if Ethan was contagious. Humiliation burned through him, but before he could respond, a new voice cut across the room like a blade. Is this how you treat your guests? The entire restaurant froze. Standing near the entrance was a woman in a long white coat, heels clicking like warning shots. Vivian Ward, billionaire CEO, owner of Ward Enterprises, one of the most powerful women in the state. And at that moment, her icy eyes were locked on the staff. The CEO who recognized him. Vivian stepped closer, studying Ethan's face. You, she whispered. I know you. The manager laughed nervously. Ms. Ward, we were just asking this man, she cut sharply, saved my daughter's life. Gasps erupted. Ethan blinked. He didn't think she remembered him. 3 months ago, he had repaired her broken-down car on a remote highway, for free, hours before a storm. He never knew the little girl in the back seat had been running a dangerously high fever until Vivian rushed her to the hospital. Vivian faced the manager. Is this how you treat a man who stepped up when others drove past? The manager stuttered. Miss Ward. He didn't. He looks like a father doing his best. Yes. He does. She turned to the hostess. And you told him what? The hostess trembled. I said we don't serve people like him? Vivian's voice shook the air. Then congratulations. You don't work here anymore. Please. Security will escort you out. The entire restaurant went dead silent. Vivian turned back to Ethan gently. Mr. Carter. Please. Let me make this right. Amelia tugged Ethan's sleeve. Daddy? Is she an angel? Vivian's expression softened for the first time in years. No, sweetheart. But I owe your father more than you know. The seat of honor. Vivian ordered the staff, seat them at the golden table. Gasps rippled again. It was the most exclusive spot in the restaurant, reserved only for VIPs and heads of state. No, I don't think we, Ethan began. But Vivian shook her head. Tonight you do. The chef himself came out to prepare Amelia's favorite dish after Vivian asked her a single simple question. What do you love most in the world besides your dad? Mac and cheese, the child said proudly. Everyone laughed. Everyone except the former manager, who stood frozen as the boardroom doors of fate began to close on him. The past he couldn't hide forever. As they sat, Vivian asked quietly, Why didn't you tell me who you were? Ethan frowned. Ma'am, I'm a mechanic. Vivian's eyebrows rose. No, Mr. Carter. Before that, his jaw tightened. Because the truth wasn't simple. Years ago, Ethan had been Major Ethan Carter of the U.S. Army. Special Forces. A decorated soldier. Until his wife died from cancer while he was deployed, and he left the service to raise Amelia alone. The medals don't matter anymore, he whispered. Only she does. Vivian's voice dropped. You sacrificed more than any of those people who judged you today. When humiliation turns into opportunity. Vivian folded her hands. My company. My daughter. My life. I never properly thanked you. Let me do that tonight. Ethan shook his head. I don't need anything. That's why you deserve everything. Before he could argue, Vivian slid a small folder across the table. Inside was a contract. A job offer. Not as a mechanic. Not as a driver. But as head of security for her corporation. 6 figures. Full benefits. College fund for Amelia. I need someone I can trust, Vivian said. And you're the only person who has ever helped me without expecting something in return. Ethan stared at the document. His hands shook. Ms. Ward. No pressure. Just know that the position is yours whenever you want it. Amelia leaned over and whispered. Daddy? Does that mean we can buy a bigger cake next year? He laughed for the first time that night. The manager's final move. But jealousy is poison. The former manager, now furious and desperate, stormed back into the dining room. This is ridiculous, he shouted. He's nobody. Just a broke, dirty. Ethan slowly stood up. Something dangerous flashed in his eyes. Vivian stepped back instinctively. The room tensed. Years of discipline, training, and buried strength surfaced in Ethan's voice, calm, controlled, lethal. Finish that sentence. Every glass in the room seemed to freeze midair. The manager swallowed hard, suddenly understanding. This was no ordinary man. Ethan leaned in so quietly only the manager could hear. You don't know who you're talking to. And trust me, you don't want to. Security dragged the trembling man out. Amelia squeezed Ethan's hand. Daddy, you scared him. Ethan knelt. I wasn't angry, honey. I was protecting you. Vivian watched, stunned. That, she whispered, is exactly the kind of man the world needs more of. The real birthday gift. When dessert arrived, Amelia blew out her candle. Vivian asked her, What did you wish for? That Daddy gets everything he deserves. Ethan tilted his head. And what do you think I deserve? Amelia smiled. A life where no one talks to you like that ever again. Vivian's eyes glistened. And you will, she said softly. I'll make sure of it. The night that changed everything. When they finished dinner, the entire staff lined up at the entrance, bowing respectfully as Ethan and Amelia walked past. People who had laughed earlier now lowered their heads in shame. Outside, Vivian shook Ethan's hand. Please think about the job. I will, he promised. Then she gently touched Amelia's hair. And happy birthday, sweetheart. As they walked into the night, Amelia whispered, Daddy, today was the best day ever. Ethan kissed her forehead. Not because of the restaurant, he said, but because I saw again how strong we can be, even when people try to break us. Amelia nodded. And because that lady was really nice. Ethan laughed. Yeah, that too. He held her close as they walked under the streetlights, one thought echoing silently in his heart. We don't serve people like you. He would never forget those words. Not because they hurt, but because they proved something powerful. You can't measure a person's worth by what they wear, but by what they carry in their heart. And Ethan Carter, a single dad with nothing but love and integrity, was richer than everyone in that restaurant combined.